Have you ever like really needed to get your point across, but he just like totally flopped?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think we've all been there.
Yeah, it's the worst. And it's like why we wanted to look at this improving communication skills for growth thing today. It's
Right.
all about like better conversations and relationships and maybe even like totally crushing it in your next presentation.
Yeah, it is. And it's so interesting how they start out with active listening, you know?
Yeah.
It's more than just like hearing the words.
Yeah.
It's about understanding what someone's really saying,
Oh, totally.
like you're a detective or something.
It's true. Have you ever noticed how some people just like make you feel heard?
Yeah.
I feel like those people are probably like experts at active listening.
Yeah, and they ask those clarifying questions too. Like
Yeah.
instead of just nodding along,
Yeah.
they'll be like, "What do you mean by that?" Or "Can you tell me more about that?"
Yeah.
It shows that you're really paying attention and you care about what they have to say.
You know what? I actually struggle with that a little bit.
Really?
Sometimes I get so caught up in my own thoughts
Yeah.
that I forget to like ask those questions.
Oh.
Do you have any tips?
Well, one thing that I find helpful is to like repeat back to them what you hear in your own words.
Oh.
It's called reflective listening.
Okay.
And it helps make sure that you're both on the same page so you can say something like, "So it sounds like you're feeling frustrated
Oh, that's
because."
really good. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
It shows that I'm listening, but also like helps me clarify my own understanding too.
exactly. And sometimes it's not even about asking questions. It's
Yeah.
just about like showing that you're listening through your body language,
Right.
like nodding or making eye contact.
Totally. If you're telling someone you're super excited about something, but you're like slouching and looking bored,
Right.
your message gets all mixed up. Your body
Exactly.
language needs to match your words.
Yeah, the source really highlights this idea of nonverbal communication. That's a huge part of clear communication.
Right.
Body language, facial expressions, even your tone of voice. They
Right.
all send messages.
That reminds me of this one time I was giving a presentation and I was so nervous that my voice was like shaking and I kept like fidgeting.
Oh, no.
And I could totally tell that the audience wasn't really engaged
Oh, really?
because they probably sensed my nervousness.
Yeah, that's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Your body language can sometimes betray your true feelings,
Uh-huh.
even if you're saying all the right things.
It's true.
So being aware of those nonverbal cues is super important.
So we've talked about active listening and nonverbal cues. What else can help us communicate clearly?
Well, the source really emphasizes using clear and simple language.
Okay.
It's about getting your point across without using big words or complicated explanations.
Yeah, it's like giving directions to your favorite restaurant.
Right.
You want to make sure they find it easily, right?
Exactly.
Short, simple sentences, no need for fancy words or long detours.
Yeah, and this ties into another important point from the source,
Okay.
emotional intelligence.
Ah, emotional intelligence.
Have you heard of that?
I have heard of that, but can you remind me what that means again?
Yeah, emotional intelligence is all about understanding and managing emotions,
Okay.
both your own and others.
Okay.
It's like having a radar for feelings.
Okay.
Imagine your friend is upset. Emotional intelligence helps you understand why they might be upset and respond in a way that's kind and understanding,
Oh, God.
not just logical.
So you're not just hearing the words, you're also like feeling the emotions behind them.
Exactly, and that can help you connect with people on a deeper level.
Yeah.
It's not just about transmitting information, it's about like connecting with another human being.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed how some conversations just feel off?
Oh, yeah.
Like you're talking, but you're not really connecting?
Yeah.
I bet emotional intelligence plays a big role in those situations.
Absolutely, especially in tough conversations, or when there's conflict.
So we've covered active listening and clear and simple language and nonverbal communication and emotional intelligence.
Wow. That's a lot.
It's like we're building this toolbox for good communication.
Yeah.
But how do we actually use these tools to have good conversations?
So the source says that asking good questions is like super important for good conversations.
Oh, yeah. Asking questions is like unlocking a secret door to more information.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it shows you want to learn more and that you're really interested.
Right. And open-ended questions are even better
Oh, okay.
because they invite people to share more.
Okay.
So instead of asking like, "Do you like this?" you could try asking, "What are your thoughts on this?"
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
You'll get a much more interesting answer that way.
Right.
It's like choosing between a short answer quiz and an essay question.
Uh-huh.
You learn so much more from an essay.
Right.
But I gotta admit, sometimes I struggle to come up with good open-ended questions, like on the spot.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any like examples?
Sure. So instead of asking, "Did you have a good day?" you could ask, "What was the highlight of your day?"
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Or instead of asking, do you like this movie? You could ask, what did you think about the ending?
Oh, yeah,
See how those questions encourage like a more thoughtful response?
they do. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about asking good questions.
Yeah.
What about giving feedback?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that a bit tricky?
It can be, yeah. But the source gives some good advice on how to give feedback in a way that's kind and useful.
Okay.
It's all about being respectful and specific
Right.
and focusing on the behavior, not the person.
Okay.
So instead of saying, you're always late,
Yeah.
you could say something like, I noticed you were late to our last few meetings. Is there anything going on that's making it difficult for you to be on time?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Much better.
And it's important to remember that feedback is a two-way street.
Oh, right.
It's not just about giving it, but also being open to receiving it.
That's a good point.
Mm.
Sometimes it's hard to hear feedback, even if it's well-intentioned.
Yeah.
But I guess it's all part of learning and growing.
Yeah, for sure.
So it all ties back to this idea that, like, good communication isn't just about talking.
Right.
It's about listening and understanding and responding in a way that shows you're really engaged.
Absolutely. It's like a dance, you know,
Yeah.
where both partners are moving in sync and paying attention to each other's steps.
I love that.
Huh.
But in today's world, with so much information coming at us all the time,
Oh my gosh.
it can be hard to stay focused and really listen.
It's true. It's like trying to drink from a fire hose.
Yes.
We're constantly bombarded with messages, you know, from social media, news emails.
Right.
It's no wonder we sometimes just feel overwhelmed and tune out.
So how do we deal with that information overload and still communicate effectively?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
The source doesn't directly address information overload,
Okay.
but I think it's closely related to another skill that's crucial for good communication:
Here was that.
critical thinking.
Critical thinking.
Have you heard of that?
I have heard of that. Yeah. How does that tie into communication?
Well, it might sound a bit academic,
Yeah.
but it's actually a very practical skill.
Okay.
Critical thinking is all about analyzing information,
Okay.
evaluating its credibility, and forming our own judgments based on evidence and logic.
So it's about not just blindly accepting everything we hear or read,
Right.
but like taking a moment to consider whether it's true and reliable and unbiased.
Exactly.
Kind of like being a detective for information.
Exactly. And that's essential for good communication.
Right.
Because it allows us to have more thoughtful conversations
Right.
and avoid spreading misinformation or getting caught up in like emotional reactions.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Uh-huh.
It's like instead of just reacting to a headline or a social media post,
Right.
we take a step back,
Yeah.
consider the source, look for more information, and then form our own opinion.
Right. And that can be really powerful, especially in situations where there's disagreement or strong emotions involved.
It's about finding common ground and understanding different perspectives,
Yeah.
even if we don't agree on everything.
You hit the nail on the head.
Thanks.
Effective communication isn't about winning or being right all the time.
Right.
It's about building relationships, fostering understanding, and working together to achieve common goals.
And that requires a willingness to listen and empathize and be open to different ideas and viewpoints.
Exactly. It's not just about what we say, but how we say it and why we say it.
And it's about remembering that communication is an ongoing journey
Yeah,
of learning, growing, and adapting.
absolutely. The more we work on improving our communication skills,
Yeah.
the more rewarding our interactions with others will be.
The source really highlights that good communication is a powerful tool for growth,
Yeah.
both personally and professionally. It helps us connect with others, build strong relationships, and make a positive impact on the world.
It's inspiring to think about, you know, the potential we all have to make a difference through communication.
So what's your biggest takeaway from all this? What's the one thing you hope our listeners will remember?
For me, it's the reminder that communication is about more than just words. It's
Yeah.
about being intentional and empathetic
Okay.
and genuinely interested in connecting with others on a deeper level.
Yeah.
And that goes far beyond just exchanging information.
I love that it's about recognizing that every person has a story to tell
Right.
and valuable insights to share. And by listening with an open heart and mind, we can learn and grow together.
It's kind of cool how the source emphasizes that communication is a skill you can always like improve on.
Right. It's not something you're just born with.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we can get better at it.
Yeah, and you know what's really cool is that even like small changes can make a big difference.
Definitely.
Like just being more aware of your body language or like taking a moment to really listen before you respond.
It's true. We don't have to become like communication gurus overnight,
No,
right?
not at all.
Just making like little tweaks here and there
Yeah.
can really add up.
Exactly. It's like learning a new dance move.
Yeah.
You start with the basics, and then you gradually, like, build up to more complex steps.
And if we think about it like big picture, right?
Yeah.
Communication shapes everything.
Oh, yeah.
Our relationships, our careers,
It's glue.
how we connect with the world around us.
It's true. It's like having a superpower
Right.
that helps us navigate the world more effectively.
But like any superpower, right?
Yeah.
It's important to use it responsibly.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And the source doesn't really touch on this, but like communication can also be used to manipulate or hurt others
Oh, totally.
if we're not careful.
Yeah, it's not just about being a skilled communicator. It's also about, like, being a good person
Right.
who communicates with integrity and respect.
I think that ties in nicely with like what the source was talking about with authenticity. It's like, be true to yourself in your communication.
Yeah.
Don't try to be someone you're not.
Yeah. People can usually spot a fake a mile away.
Yeah.
You can try to imitate someone else's style, but it's never going to feel genuine.
It's like wearing a costume that doesn't quite fit.
Right. Exactly.
It might look good from a distance, but like up close, it's obvious it's not really you.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to find your own unique voice, your own way of communicating that feels authentic and true to who you are.
Because when we communicate authentically, people are more likely to trust us,
Yeah.
connect with us, and be open to what we have to say.
Isn't that what it's all about, really?
Totally.
Like building those genuine connections with others.
Absolutely. So as we like wrap up this deep dive into the world of communication,
Yeah.
I want to leave our listeners with like one final thought.
Okay, I'm listening.
The source material focused a lot on the what and the how of better communication.
Right.
But like, what about the why?
Ooh.
Why is it important to you?
Yeah.
What are your biggest motivations for wanting to improve your communication skills?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Think about it, and maybe even like start a conversation with someone you trust.
That's a great challenge.
Yeah.
Understanding our own motivations can make this whole journey of improving our communications so much more meaningful
Totally.
and rewarding.
And remember, communication is a lifelong journey,
It is.
not a destination.
That's true.
There's always room for growth and improvement.
Absolutely.
So keep practicing, stay curious, and never stop learning.
That's great advice.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, this was fun.
We'll see you next time.